Well, welcome. I'm Perry Williams, and this is Hamilton County TV. As you can see, we're in the coach's room at Noblesville High School, and I'm interviewing a couple of seniors here, Anna Kaiser and Devin Ray. Welcome, ladies.
Thanks.
Well, let's talk a little bit. Devin, I'll go with you first. Let's talk a little bit. If you look back at your playing time, you were on the varsity as a freshman, sophomore, junior, and now your senior year. Has it gone fast?
Yeah, no, I just remember freshman year, Coach Buckley always saying that it will go so fast, and like sophomore year, I was like, no, like that's not true. And now I'm sitting here, I'm like, senior year, like I don't even remember, like it feels all like yesterday.
Sounds good. How about you, Anna?
Yeah, I mean, I just remember being a freshman coming in, and to think it's our senior season is crazy.
Yeah, especially early on, I'm sure you had that, as you all did, had that deer in the headlight look like,
Yeah.
what am I doing out here? Because, you know, Donna and I were just talking here, and I looked up all your stats and everything, and this is very unusual that we have 4 seniors here, and all 4 of you have played varsity ball for 4 years. So it's very unusual, and all of you contributed, okay? So one thing, let's talk a little bit, Devin, you know, you're in your senior year, but let's talk a little bit about, you've had some tough time here because with the injuries and stuff like that, and some of the things that you've gone through, but you still want to be part of this team.
Yeah, no, last season obviously was not very fun with my ACL and all that stuff, but I never really felt like I wasn't a part of the team. I came every day and, you know, participated in everything that I was allowed to. I still stayed a part of it, and I just would not give it up for anything. Even this year, I'm kind of having a rocky start with like injuries and stuff, but I wouldn't want to be with anybody else. Like I'm happy where I'm at.
Yeah, the one thing about it is too is as you know, I've been to 1 or 2 practices already, and the one thing about it is you definitely have taken your senior leadership to seriously, because even on the sidelines you're over there helping the young players and everything. What does that mean to you? Because I know that with some of the players you played with the last 3 years, no matter what, they've encouraged you along.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I just want to see all of the freshmen, because I mean, everyone on this team has so much talent. I just want to see them like get it, because like it's like I know what they're capable of, and it's just like I want to see that so bad. So anything I can do to help them get that out of themselves is just, I'll help.
Now, Anna, let's talk a little bit about yours is a little bit different situation, because you've been around here longer than 4 years.
I have.
Because you were the 4th Kaiser to go through and play basketball, because your brother John played basketball. So you've been a part of the Miller organization for a long time.
Yes.
What about the one thing about it is also in it, talk a little bit about Anna Kaiser's not just basketball. I mean, we see you out on the basketball floor and everything, but tell us a little bit about some of the things you do in school, some of the things you do out of school.
Yeah, so volleyball just ended. We just had sectionals. That was my 4th season with volleyball. Played it all 4 high school years. I do track as well. Follow after my dad, throwing.
You have to, right?
Yep. It's what he really wants me to get that going. I'm a part of student government in school. I'm the student body vice president with another one of the seniors on the basketball team, Abby Haley. She's the president. Yeah.
So that kind of keeps you busy. I mean,
yes.
It's pretty hard for you to get in trouble, right? Because you're always here.
I always have something to do.
That's right. That's right. Devin, let's talk a little bit about some of the things you do in school and some of the things that are important to you here at Noblesville.
Yeah, so I also was a part of student government my first 3 years of high school. I did track for a while up until my knee started having problems with my knee. Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just kind of wanted to take a few minutes here and expose you to 2 of the 4 seniors, Anna and Devin both, and I appreciate you tuning in here today and you guys coming and talking to me. And I'm sure we'll be talking throughout the season. All right?
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Didn't go off.
I think we should.
Well, welcome back. I'm Perry Williams. This is Hamilton County TV, and I have with me today head basketball coach of the Noblesville Millers, Donna Buckley. Welcome, Donna. Let's talk a little bit about, the season's coming up here, and you're on the road, first game of Lawrence North, but the second game, the home game, Fort Wayne Snyder, has a very special meaning to the community at Noblesville. Let's talk a little bit about the things that are going on that day and what it's all about.
Well, we want to use that game to be able to honor Courtney and Chrissy and just what they obviously meant to Noblesville athletics as well as just the community. And for me personally, I didn't know either of them extremely well, but and I've said it for as long as I've been here, I'm here because of those women and that team and how much they inspired me as a kid going to Clinton Central and seeing basketball played at the level that they played at, and the crowd and the excitement that they created was something I just knew when I grew up I wanted to be at Noblesville. And to be able to honor them and the legacy and what they represent is something we want to really do a great job of on Saturday night. We are going to have every student in our entire school can come in for free. We're going to tailgate before, and we're inviting every athlete to come and tailgate with us. And Kayla Cole is going to be speaking at that. Carly Davis, Chrissy's niece who played for me, she's going to be speaking at that. And just sharing, about both women and what they meant to them and who they are, and just to kind of give our students an idea of, what each of them stood for, beyond basketball. So like I said, we also, do some fun things, and I will just leave it at that. Little tribute, throwback night to just what they used to do back in the 80s when these women played. And like I said, it should be a huge night. We're also raising money for a scholarship fund that, again, all that money will go to seniors as they come through the program. We'll just split that up, and it's going to be in both Courtney and Christy's name, and so that, like I said, on senior night, when they do all the scholarships, everybody will be able to hear those names over and over. And I just think that the more you can hear about those two and what they represented, I think that the world's a better place for that.
Absolutely. Talk a little bit about now the tailgate. Where's all this going to be taking place?
Tailgate's going to be in the cafeteria. If the weather, which does not look like it, but if the weather is good, we'll go outside the cafeteria. But otherwise, B-Rob, who is an icon here himself, he's going to be helping us with games. Our youth guy, Felix Mendez, they're going to be grilling burgers and dogs. Again, no charge to that, so it'll all be down the junior senior cafeteria. Any athlete, whether, again, varsity, JV, freshman, unified, everybody's invited. It is all free. We're giving out tickets to everybody who comes in, and those tickets are going to go into a drawing for a pair of Colts tickets and to the Titans game. Also a parking pass, and that's lower bowl seats. And then everybody gets into the game for free, and like I said, we have some things kind of planned throughout the game as well.
Now that date is November 9th, right?
Yes, and it's an early start, 5 o'clock JV start.
Okay. What time will the tailgate start?
3:30 to 4:45.
Okay.
And like I said, eat as much as you want. We invite everybody to come out. Like I said, all the athletes come and join us, and like I said, it should be a lot of fun.
Well, come and join us here on November 9th when we play Fort Wayne Snyder. Thanks a lot, Coach. Appreciate it. Welcome back. As you well know, I've already interviewed a couple of our seniors. I got a couple more here, in Abby Haley and Kaylee Ely. So welcome, girls.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Let's talk a little bit about, I asked Devin and Anna about how quickly 4 years have gone, starting your fourth year here at basketball. Abby, talk a little bit about it, about how quickly the 4 years has gone for you.
It's kind of flown by. I honestly can barely tell you about my freshman or sophomore year besides a few things, but it's just crazy to think where all of us started out and to where we are today. It's just a huge jump, so been fun.
Yeah,
And what about you?
It's just crazy. Like thinking about back to freshman year, I don't think I could see myself as a senior like this soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
it
kinda
goes
crazy.
really rapid. Kaylee, you had some illnesses and things last season and towards the end. Let's talk a little bit about that because you missed some time and you know and with your situation, it took a little bit time to recover. So let's talk a little bit about that and what it was like and.
Yeah, it was rough. I mean, because I've never really had bad injuries, so like sitting out was really rough. But I always felt a part of the team, like Devin said, and also I had other people with me to support and stuff. But yeah, and this year, still kind of getting back into things with injuries and stuff. But we're still working at it, and I still know I have all my support with me. So.
Well, that's good. That's good. Abby, you've kind of went through the same thing. Is that you had some pretty tough times and was sick for a little while and dropped a few pounds that you really didn't want to drop
Yeah, no.
that way.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that recovery period and some of the things that.
Yeah, it was a long 3 months, not gonna lie. I lost probably 25, almost 30 pounds, which again was definitely not needed at all. But it was a long ride, and I can happily say that I'm starting to get back to where I need to be, and just got back in the weight room, and I've been shooting and putting in the work, so fought back.
Let's talk a little bit about because you know the one thing that I'm always amazed, especially with this group, is playing more than one sport. I mean, I know that you know you're very talented on the basketball floor, but you also have another sports that you're very good in. Talk a little bit about doing two sports and the conditioning and everything.
Yeah, so I play lacrosse as well, and that's a sport that you have to be in pretty well shape for to get up and down that field. But I think just, especially being sick, right, almost at the end of basketball and then the beginning of lacrosse, it took a lot for me to get back into shape, conditioning-wise. But yeah, I've played lacrosse for the past 3 years, and freshman year I had tennis as well, so.
Yeah, so and talk a little bit about your situation because I know you run track and talk a little bit about that. And I guess my question to you is, you know, after basketball and going to track and things like that, what's the difference in it? You know.
Well, really, I go into track being in pretty good shape because, I mean, honestly, you're running for longer in basketball than you are when I run in track since I do sprints.
You're right.
So yeah, it's really not that big of a difference. Like, it's just, you know, the techniques and stuff getting down. And I pole vault too, which I only started my sophomore year. But, so just getting that technique down and everything, so.
Sounds good, sounds good. Girls, I appreciate you taking time out. Oh, one other thing, because I wanted to talk about some of the activities that you do in school and also talk a little bit about the philanthropy work that you did last year because it was simply amazing.
Well, thank you. So past 4 years in high school, I've actually been the president of my class, and then this year, president of my class with Devin, and then this year I'm the student body president with Anna Kaiser. So I've done that. I play lacrosse as well. I did tennis, and then the philanthropy stuff. I raised almost $80,000 for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, which it was awesome. I was a part of such an amazing group who raised over almost $800 million for this cancer research. So it's just something I've done fundraising since I was little and tried to always do what I can to help others. And this was just an amazing experience. So.
Yeah, and I think it from some of the things that I attended that you were in front of large crowds, it kind of took you outside of your comfort zone many times, right?
Yeah, it definitely is something that is challenging for on the social standpoint, and also I guess just getting outside of myself, seeing the bigger picture. Although I'm uncomfortable trying to talk to people and asking them, you know, for their help, at the end of the day, it's helping more people. So
Kelly, what else do you do outside of track and basketball?
Well, I haven't been a part of student government like everyone else, but I do the National Honor Society, so I'm part of that. But
That's good. That's good. You know, the one thing about it is that I know when Abby was raising the funds last year, I know that your team was a big part of supporting you
For sure.
on the fundraising. And you know, it's the one thing that amazes me, especially as spending time with this girls basketball team and this group of seniors, is, you know, their closeness and their friendship with each other, because, you know, they not only spend a lot of time on the basketball floor, they spend a lot of time together just being together. And I think that builds a team. And I wanted to make sure that I got all four of you seniors on here, because I think that's a very, very important part of who you are and what you stand for. And I appreciate you coming on here today.
yeah, thank you for having us. We're family here. It's nice to have all each other. Past 4 years, it's been nice. So.
And you have a good coach over there that
Oh, of course.
mentors you all the time.
Well done, well done.
All right, thank you very much, girls. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, welcome. I'm Perry Williams, and this is Hamilton County TV. And I'm going to talk a little bit of girls basketball with Coach Donna Buckley, the coach of the Noblesville Millers girls basketball team. Welcome, Donna.
It's good to be here.
Donna, let's talk a little bit. Season's here. It's time to play some basketball.
Yeah.
And from the weather we had yesterday, we probably want to be inside.
Yeah, absolutely, it was brutal.
Let's talk a little bit about last night. You had a controlled scrimmage. You went to Ben Davis. Let's talk a little bit about some of the things you've seen and how you feel after that controlled scrimmage, because you've been practicing against each other for a while, and sometimes they're ready to get it on, right?
Oh yeah, no, it's good to play other people, and it was good. It was a lot of the things I thought we would see, and some things were a little better than I thought they might be. Overall, like, so we did a lot of good things. It's tough in a scrimmage because it really is. It's very controlled. First quarter's man, second quarter zone. But like I said, we came out in the first quarter, and I thought we played really well on the offensive side. Defensively, getting a little better about bumping cutters and things, but we did a lot of things very, very well in that quarter. And then, like I said, zone quarter, same thing. Moved the ball well, hit some threes, got some good looks, and like I said, our press quarter, our press was pretty good. We got to work a little bit versus press break. But overall, like I said, I thought we played really well against them. They're a physical team. They're athletic. And like I said, they're a group that, again, anytime you play a mixed school, you're going to play somebody that's good. And I thought our kids handled it well.
Good. Let's talk a little bit about this team. I mean, you've seen there's a lot of young players on this team, and you have, you know, we talked earlier about the four seniors and this veteran group that you have on the varsity, and we talked. I made a comment to you in looking up information and everything. Those four seniors all played when they were freshmen, and they all scored when they were freshmen. And that, you know, you've been at this game a long time. That doesn't normally happen, especially at a high level 4A basketball team like the Noblesville.
No, that's hard to do. And this group's been, like I said, been around forever. And it's nice from a leadership standpoint. They know exactly, you know, where I'm coming from. And we have some young kids. We have 5 freshmen in our practice, and I mean, that's a lot of young kids, and a lot of times staring at me like, what is she talking about? So it's good because, like I said, they've been around long enough, they can translate everything I'm saying. And, like I said, it's a nice mix of youth and, like I said, definite, you know, just experience from our juniors and seniors being able to help those young kids out.
Yeah, that's really great. Well, let's talk about some of those young kids. Let's talk about that good junior core you got.
Yeah, the junior core. We have, like I said, obviously the seniors and then our juniors. We've got, you know, good kids in that class. Emery Dennison's moving up from the JV, and like I said, she's a really very good shooter for us. She does a nice job. And then we've got returners in Emily Wood and Mallory Miller, and we expect big things from them this year. They're talented. They played a lot for us last year, and like I said, they bring like I said, experience and Woody gives us that kid in the paint that we need. She can step out a little bit and hit a jumper. And then Mallory Miller's that kid that, again, she can defend. She's aggressive. She's a good leader. And like I said, she is a kid that we need to handle the ball a little bit for us too. So it's a really, really good group of kids.
Good. Let's talk a little bit about the younger kids.
The freshman class is, like I said, they're a group that there's 5 of them in there with us. And we put a lot in their brains here in the first few weeks, and they're taking it all in, doing a nice job for us. Ashlyn Shade's a really dynamic scorer, a real, tremendous athlete. She's the kid who's kind of been on the scene for a while, and some of the other kids are really good too. Again, we have a 6'3", 6'4" kid that, like I said, she hasn't played organized basketball that long, but she's really come along in Brooklyn Smitherman. And she does such a great job of keeping the ball high and finishes well. She's a kid that down the road, she's going to be really good. And like I said, just a great kid. Danny Mendez also plays in the paint for us. She is so explosive off the dribble. She's a kid that when she figures out how good she's going to be, like I said, she's going to be an unbelievable basketball player. She's just kind of finding her way right now, but she's a difference maker potential-wise. Then we have Caitlin Shoemaker, and she great shooter. She'll play point guard some on the JV, and then for us, she'll be more that kid that comes in and she can shoot it. And then Brooklyn Ely, another kid that can just flat out shoot it. Like I said, she kind of reminds me of Rachel Shipman. I mean, she's just that kid. You leave her alone, and she's going to make you pay. Like I said, very, very smart kid, and like I said, already as a young kid, a really good leader. And like I said, that's just a really good class. I feel like I didn't go through all 5. Did I skip one? Oh my gosh, I should have just went.
I think you pretty
Did I get
well.
them all? There we go.
I think you pretty well did.
All right. Like I said, that's a great group of kids. Like I said, they are working hard for us, and like I said, we're excited about them.
Yeah, it sounds really exciting, and coming to practice, and you can tell those juniors and seniors are leading as freshmen and giving them some good instructions on things that they need to know and how to adapt to Coach Buckley and her ways and different things like that, because it's a great group of young ladies, really.
Oh yeah, they're a blast. They're just really good kids. They're working hard, and like I said, we're also trying to get a couple kids back from injury. Like I said, once we have it all back, it'll be a nice mix. Like I said, Jayla's been out. She's just now starting to come back, and then Kaylin Ely, she didn't play last night. Her back has been out, so once we get everybody, and then McKenna Mundy, very exciting. She's playing, obviously she's not been with us either, but like so when she comes back, actually finished her year so well with how she played in the sectional, and we're excited. And again, just to get another great kid. All these kids that we just talked about with injuries, they're all great leaders. They're all kids that once we get them back on the floor, combining those with those young kids, it's exciting. And again, hopefully McKenna's the state champ after tomorrow, and
That's right.
to bring that's something I think that, like I said, our kids, they want to win and be successful, and to have McKenna in the state championship, and to be able to bring that mentality onto the court starting next week, we can't wait.
Yeah, and I think the one thing about the 3 juniors that you have, in Emily and Mallory and McKenna, you've seen them grow during the season. I know watching him at the beginning and then at the end, and like you said, McKenna, I mean, she had a dynamite tournament when you put her in there, and it's one of those cases, no matter what, you have to be ready. And so if you're called upon to get off that bench, because this is a team game.
Absolutely. And all those kids are like that. And last year with the injuries and things that we had to experience, our kids had to be ready for anything, and their roles changed a lot, very dramatically throughout the season.
Sometimes through the game.
Oh, absolutely, no doubt about that. And so I think that those are other things that these older kids can bring. I mean, there's not much that, they always make fun of me when I say rattle your cage, but not a lot can rattle their cage. They've been through a lot of things in the last 4 years, and I think that makes them a really great leadership, group for these young kids, because like so they can really, our young kids, I mean, the kids that went to West never lost a game, so they have no idea what that's like, and to have adversity, and that comes, I don't care how good you are, there's always going to be adversity in the course of a varsity basketball season.
Absolutely.
So these kids can really help them adjust and find their way, and like I said, I think the sky's the limit for this group.
Well, Thursday, November the 7th, you open and you go to Lawrence North, and very good basketball team.
Yeah, absolutely. They have some really nice players, and like I said, the Smith kid is outstanding junior. And they have a number of kids that can score and do things. We'll have to play well. Last year we went into that game. I was watching film from it, and I mean, we were very limited with everything that was going on in our world, and it was 4-2 at the end of the quarter. So I know our kids will come ready to play, and like I said, it doesn't matter who we play. You got to come ready to play every single night, and getting to go over to Lawrence North and take on a really good basketball team's I think a challenge that our kids will be ready for.
Sounds good. And one of the things too is during the season, Coach Buckley and I'll sit down and we'll talk about upcoming games and where we were during the season, because we've already talked about it, and the one thing about it, we have a very, let's say, challenging schedule, and it's made that way. I mean, that's what you want. You want to play the best competition, and for your team to see great competition, because it's all about coming sectional time.
Absolutely. Again, people think I'm nuts with how I set our schedule up this year, but at the end of the day, I know that our kids will be ready for anything, any draw, whatever happens when we get to tournament. Again, we play Brownsburg on a Friday, and then we go up to Homestead the next day. And again, in our sectional, you're going to play Friday night against somebody really good. If you win, you got to play Saturday against somebody really good. So just trying to find ways to simulate what that sectional is going to look like and how tough it is, and making sure, like I said, hopefully it's one of the top 2 or 3 schedules in the state, because I think that we need that to be where we want to be at the end.
Yeah, because and you're going to play some very talented basketball players. I know the Indianapolis Star published an article yesterday about the top players in the Indianapolis metro area, and that doesn't include the great players at Homestead or Northwestern, but on that list, of the 60 players that was named by the Star, we'll see 21 of them. So, we're going to see some of the teams we don't even play, okay? But let's just say it's going to be a challenging year, and looking forward to it, and I know that your team will be up for every game.
We'll be ready.
I appreciate it. Appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, because it's getting ready to start it up here.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.